you on my mind. Darling, I don't have the time. My body wants some night and day. I'm losing no control of me. No time for thinking, too busy dancing and drinking. Or you been meaning to get up out of your house. Baby, go to Fendi on the floor. Dig on my body, I want yours. You already know that I already know. Haven't got you on my mind. Think about you all the time. My body wants you night and day. But my head is screaming, go away. 24/7 got you on my mind. Darling, I don't have the time. My body wants you night and day. I'm losing no control of me. Every so lost in it. Every hour, losing my head. Tick tock, 24/7 got you on my mind. Think about you all the time. My body wants you night and day. My head is gonna go away. 24/7 got you on my mind. Darling, I don't have your time. My body wants you night and day. I'm losing all control of me. I'ma make it better, slip it up, 'cause heartbeats, no count, chili, get it free like Willie in the beast, like Billy, you be popping like a willy. Even in the sun, you know I keep it icy. You could take a look, but it's a chosen, play the part like Moses, keep it fresh like roses. Looks so good, yeah, like so sweet, looking good in my TV. Call us with the kiss, so we so we call me ice cream. You could double dip. Chillin', ice cream, chillin', ice cream, chillin'. I know that my heart can be so cold, but I'm sweet, but you can put me in a cone. You're the only touch, yeah, to get me melting. He's a favorite, you're always gonna pick him. You're the cherry T-shirt, stay on top of me, so I can see nobody else but me, no. Get it, skip it, do it like that, oh yeah, yeah. Look it, through like la la la, oh yeah. Looks so good, yeah, like so. So good, yeah, love so sweet. Baby, you dance on my wrist, so we call me ice cream. You could double dip, 'cause I know you like me. Ice cream, chillin', ice cream, chillin'. Ice cream, chillin', ice cream, chillin'. Ice cream, chillin', ice cream, chillin'. Chillin', yeah, rah, rah. Little good stuff to win my life for right. Never follow none of bigger wanna grab it, could have cheated. Ice cream and the treats are ice cream, chillin'. about to come my way. May we never ever shed another tear for today. Just hope I know that there'll be better days. Waking up in California, but these clouds it won't go away. Every day is like another storm, yeah. Dark nights, so many dark days. But anytime I feel the paranoia, close my eyes and I pray. There'll be better days. Oh, that sun's about to come my way. May we never ever shed another tear for today. So I know that there'll be better days. I'm waking up to a new year. Got the past a million miles away. I've been waking up with a new fear. Wash away. Cause in the morning everything can change. Time will tell you what it does. I know that there'll be better days. Oh, that sunshine about to come my way. May we never ever shed another tear today. So I know that there'll be better days. Better days. May we never ever shed another tear today. There'll be better days. May we never ever shed another tear for today. Oh, I know that there'll be better days. I can see you struggling. Promise you'll find love again. Yeah, it will be alright. Why are you so hard on yourself? Why you gotta try so hard? Counting calories and carbs, another trip across the world. I go so hard trying to make you feel just like a queen. You don't need a camera to make a scene. We're going like that, no Maybelline. When you first wake up, you're bad to me. Pop another Addy, no sleep tonight. Can't push the west slow on speed and right. Over to the crib cause we need to slide. But you take so long making up your mind. Little black dress will be your back. And leave 10 times, I'll take you back. Why you wanna look like someone else? Why you so hard on yourself? I can see you struggling. Promise you'll find love again. Yeah, it will be alright. Why are you so hard on yourself? Try not to fall apart. You're perfect just the way you are. It will be alright. Why are you so hard on yourself? Why you gotta compare our lives to pics you see on your timeline? Another shot at
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Creating Your Fall 2020 Experience. Before we begin this conversation, we would like to provide an opportunity for all the panelists to share their names, gender pronouns, and positions. My name is Rose Marita. My gender pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am the 2020 to 2021 Associate Students President, and will also be serving as one out of the two moderators during this conversation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for taking your time out of your day to join us today. I know the first week of school can be hectic, so I truly appreciate you all being here today. My name is Melanie Alvarez, she, her, hers, and I am the University Student Union Board of Directors Chair, and I will be moderating alongside Rose. Before we continue, we want to share a few logistical terms.
All right, so your microphones will be turned off during the department presentations. And if you have any questions during the presentations, please feel free to utilize the Q&A feature. The panelists will respond during the Q&A portion of the program. If you want to speak on the microphone, please raise your hand during the Q&A portion and we will unmute and turn on your camera. If you have any technological questions, please use the chat function and our tech support staff will respond to you and your concerns.
Our panelists will now begin introducing themselves. We will now start with Dion Turner.
Hi everyone, my name is Dion Turner. My gender pronouns are he, him, his, and I am the Associated Students Vice President.
Hello everyone, my name is Albert Martinez. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am the Vice Chair of the University Student Union Board of Directors. And I would like to take a brief moment to thank you all for making the time for being here, for being with us today. And I would like to let all the students know that even though that you're not here on campus physically, that we, the USU, sees you, that we're here for you, and that we will continue to work for you to try to ensure that we're still providing as many of our services as we possibly can to you virtually. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the show, the program. Thank you.
My name is Deborah Hammond, and I am the Executive Director of the University Student Union, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I'm excited to be here with you this afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Bailey. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm the AS Executive Director, and on Monday, I will make my 1-year mark in that position. But before that, I also worked at Cal State Northridge for 5 other years, so 6 years as a Matador. Great to be here today.
Hi everyone, my name is Vicki Allen. I'm a co-interim director for the Office of Student Involvement and Development, and I oversee the Matador Involvement Center. I've been here at Cal State Northridge for 26 years, and like all the other panelists, I want to welcome you to this experience. We're going to help you create the most incredible virtual experience you can have this fall at California State University Northridge.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Shelley Rellis Bischoff, and I have been serving as the Associate Vice President for Student Life here at CSU Northridge for the past 9 years. Even though we can't see you, it's really good to be together with you this afternoon. Looking forward to a great event. You're going to get a lot of good information, and welcome to the CSUN family. To all you new students, welcome back home, all you returners.
Greetings, Matador family. My name is William Watkins, Vice President for Student Affairs. My pronouns are he, him, his. It really is wonderful to gather the community together, even though virtually here, to really have an opportunity to be exposed to some of the wonderful opportunities that are there for you through the Associated Students of University Student Union and our Matador Involvement Center. So happy to be here and to join the other panelists.
All right, well, thank you so much to the panelists for introducing yourselves and for your time. The Associate Students University Student Union and the Matador Involvement Center wanted to join forces to create this webinar. We are really excited to share what Campus Life will be providing to you, our students.
Our program today will provide you the opportunity to learn about the resources our campus has to offer and for ways to get engaged as you begin to continue your journey at CSUN. Although this academic semester is going to be primarily virtual, there are many opportunities for you to get involved. Keep in mind, we want to create a community where we respect and support one another. Being virtual doesn't mean that if you aren't able to connect with others. Today's program will show you various ways you can still be involved, engaged, and build community. Don't forget, please make sure to ask questions by using the Q&A function as the program continues or by waiting to be called on during the Q&A. We will start today's program with associated students.
Hi, Matadors. My name is Dion Turner, and I am the 2020-21 CSUN Associated Students Vice President. I'm honored to talk to you a little bit about Associated Students, as well as let you know about a few positions we have available right now. Associated Students is the primary advocate for students at California State University, Northridge. Our mission is to provide meaningful programs and services designed to create and enhance a spirited learning environment. Although you may think AS is just your typical student government, it is so much more. Aside from being the home to student government, our Senate functions as the board of directors for this $11 million corporation. That's right, our 22 senators, along with myself as vice president and Rose Marita as president, run this organization, a program that's built for students by students. Associated Students has many departments, which include sports clubs, AS Productions, ticket office, marketing, IT, sustainability, the Children's Center, accounting, outdoor adventures, and student leadership. Here's a little bit of background on our organization. Associated Students was established on July 1st, 1958, and incorporated on June 14th, 1961. AS is a non-profit auxiliary corporation serving CSUN. Membership is for all of you, so if you pay tuition, you are a member of Associated Student. We can go to the next slide. So a little bit about our Children's Center. Our Children's Center is a high-quality early childhood education program that provides a safe and nurturing environment while promoting the physical, social, emotional, and intellectual development of young children. They will be having free Zoom circle times for children and resources for parents all throughout the fall semester, so please take advantage of those. Productions. AS Productions provides concerts, lectures, and special events for the CSUN campus, including Big Show, Big Lecture, and the We the People Fair. AS Productions keeps the Matador spirit alive by producing CSUN spirited events and collaborating on programs with campus clubs, academic departments, and the University Student Union. Outdoor Adventures provides unique leadership opportunities to the CSUN community. We do this through our team building programs, virtual tours of the parks, and of course, Camp Matador. Sports clubs. The Sports Clubs program provides CSUN students an opportunity to participate in regionally and nationally competitive sports and rec activities. The program is designed to allow each CSUN student a chance to participate in a sports club individually or as a member of a team. AS Sustainability supports and participates in various sustainability projects such as the award-winning Sustainable Office Program, Zero Waste Event Certification, the Matador Exchange, Trash Talkers, in addition to hosting educational events and very sustainable programs. Our ticket office within AS offers ticketing services nearly for all campus events, from athletics to comedy to theater, music, and more. The AS ticket office sells deeply discounted transit passes and U passes as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, our student leadership. The student leadership represents the student body. We advocate for the needs and defend its interests in dealing with faculty, campus administrators, and government officials. I encourage you all to get involved. We believe in shared governance, student advocacy, and collaboration with other campus and community entities. If you want to ever see any of our upcoming events, they're all on csunas.org. If you ever have any problems on campus, questions, concerns, want to know more ways to get involved, or just want to stop in and say hi, please reach out to us. The office hours for the Cabinet and the Senate will all be posted at csunas.org. Feel free to email President Morita at president@csunas.org and myself, Vice President Turner, at vicepresident@csunas.org. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much to the associate students. Up next, we have the Matador Involvement Center.
Thank you very much, Rose, for that introduction.
So I see you found your way to the Animation Student League of Northridge. And at this point, you might as well stay a moment.
Welcome to the Multicultural Psychological Association.
President of the CSUN Academic Club.
I'm a current member of the University Ambassadors Program.
President for CSUN's Theater Guild. Welcome to CSUN MSA's Meet the Clubs presentation.
Hi everyone, my name is April Salam. I'm the president of Student Center Organization.
And this is Mentor.
Are getting assistance to study the information. Oh, this and more at Disney Club. Oh, hi. My name is Elle Woods, and for my admissions essay, I'm going to tell all of you at CSUN why I'm going to make them take a great job.
We hope to see you all join us at Meet the Clubs Fall 2020 virtual experience. And remember, get involved, stay connected.
Well, hello, Matadors. My name is Vicki Allen, and I did not say my gender pronouns earlier, so I want to let you know those. They're she, her, hers. And what I want to do is first talk about how you can get connected through our incredible student clubs and organizations. You've seen from that promo video that we have an event annually called Meet the Clubs. Meet the Clubs is actually happening right now, and you have an opportunity to take a look at about 160 organizations that made a video just for you to talk with you about how they plan to be engaged in virtual this year, creating phenomenal programs, things that I have been amazed that they have been able to come up and create so that you will have an opportunity to get to know what their purpose is, what it is that they like to do as an organization, and how they go about creating community. That's right, the importance of getting involved here at Cal State Northridge through a student organization is the idea that you can get involved through creating community. And the diversity of our student clubs and organizations are amazing. We have academic organizations that represent each of the 8 academic colleges. We have fraternal organizations, which I'll talk about a little bit later. We have social organizations. We have political organizations, and what the time to be involved politically. We have religious organizations, special interests that get involved in a lot of different unique types of things, as well as our sport clubs. So there's a lot to kind of get connected with. So one of the ways that you can first find out about all the different types of student organizations we have here on campus is through an online portal called Matasync. You can go to any online browser and just type in Matasync, and it will take you to Matasync here at Cal State Northridge. You'll use your regular sign-on credentials that you have for Cal State Northridge, and it will take you right in. You can then begin to explore by just typing in different types of words, things that you're interested in, and if we have a club that has one of those kinds of activities, it will pop up. You can then begin to explore what that organization's about, look at their descriptions. Some of them have included their social media connections so that you can find them on Instagram or Facebook. So it's a marvelous resource for you to get to know more about our student clubs and organizations. Although right now for Meet the Clubs, we have about 160 that are registered, you're gonna note that our portal and Matasync has way more than those organizations that are listed. And so we encourage you to explore those as well. For some of our groups that are smaller in nature and may not feel that Meet the Clubs is the best vehicle for them to get new members. In addition to that, through our clubs and organizations program, we offer opportunities for you to gain and enhance your leadership skills. And so we have a program called the Red Academy, which allows you to register with a small cohort of students and to begin to explore your leadership skills and a cohorted experience and get some coaching from professional staff within the Matador Involvement Center. I'm still on the previous page, and I want to talk a little bit about our fraternities and sororities, which we have 52 here at Cal State Northridge. They're represented by 5 governing councils, which include the NPC, which is the National Panhellenic Council, the NPHC, the National Panhellenic Council, those are 8 historically Black organizations, the Interfraternity Conference, IFC, our USFC, United Sorority Fraternity Conference, which basically deals with a lot of multicultural organizations. And then we also have the Independent Greek Council, which also has a plethora of multicultural types of organizations for you to get involved in. What you can see coming up is that we have things that you'll need to do in order to go through fraternity and sorority recruitment. One of the things that you'll do is you'll need to register. And we have created the registration that's connected to an educational program that you need to take, which is called PREP. PREP is the pre-recruitment educational program, and this gives you a greater introduction to our fraternity and sorority life community, as well as our campus expectations and what you can experience through recruitment. After you've registered and done PREP, which are combined, we're then asking that you attend one of the mandatory orientations. And this is to give you a full introduction with all of our FSL organizations, and then once again, to fully communicate to you what the virtual recruitment experience and the virtual Greek life experience will be for you. And so information is provided here in terms of the dates of those mandatory meetings, as well as within each of our communities, they will have a bid date so that if you receive an invitation for membership, you'll know exactly when you will come virtually into the Matador Involvement Center and be able to receive your bid. We also are involved in coordinating volunteer programs for Cal State Northridge, and our program is called Unified We Serve. And it's unified because we as a community here at Cal State Northridge believe that our students, our faculty and staff should come together and to serve our community. So this semester, just like our student organizations, we'll be offering many opportunities for you to engage in service virtually, as well as to connect with other students who are service-minded. If you're not currently a person who's been committed to community issues and whatnot, this is a great way for you to get connected and to see all the ways that you can serve others. Unified We Serve will have its kickoff meeting on Friday, September 11th, which will connect with things and opportunities to commemorate that event here in the US. Now you can go ahead and go to the next slide. So other things that Unified We Serve does is they do a Cesar Chavez Service Fair. This is something that happens in the spring semester. They do an Adopt a Family program, as well as one of our signature event that traditionally happens in the fall of every year is Matador's Day of Service. This is a program that we're still working to coordinate and plan for the spring term, and so we look forward to having you be a part of that program when it is developed and designed for you as Matadors. And I think one of the things I do want to send to you really quickly is in the chat, I'm just going to put out there for you the link so that you can go ahead and just copy that link and be able to get directly to the platform page for Meet the Clubs and start exploring the 160 organizations that are participating in that event. Again, welcome Matadors. We're excited that you're here, and there's multiple ways that you can get involved, and the Matador Involvement Center is a place that can help you start thinking through and exploring and making those connections. Now, I would like to turn it over to Freddie and our University Student Union.
Thank you, Matador Involvement Center. To conclude this portion of the program, the University Student Union will now be presenting about their organization.
Everyone continues to be themselves and be happy to be themselves with the Pride Center.
Hey everybody, welcome to the VRC. Let's find out what's going on.
Sometimes I go to VRC just to sit and relax and just listen to fellow veterans talk.
We're going to be hosting our first ever game night.
I really like using SRC for convenience on school property. I mean, I use it between classes for breaks. One of the programs that the SRC offers is intramurals, and from there you can play competitively against other players and teams.
The purpose of the Oasis Wellness Center is to really positively impact students and their well-being.
I'm Sister Elena, and I come to you from the island of Jamaica country. We want to say one love, and I hope you're feeling hungry today.
If you haven't gotten your Crunch Time giveaway yet, today we're doing our giveaways through Snapchat. Working at the USU helped me to feel a lot more connected to the campus overall.
You can also do what we did and join a committee of the USU Board of Directors.
The board and its committees are a student-led, action-oriented team dedicated to making a real difference for every Matador.
The USU exists for CSUN student development. CSUN students come to us for social connection, support services, educational resources, community building, and so much more.
Albert, are you ready?
Yes. Yes, I'm ready. I was just waiting for it to be introduced. To be so. So we're just sharing. So we're gonna go ahead and share with you a little bit additional information regarding the USU and its services. So I will speak briefly about some of them, and then I will pass it over to Deborah Hammond. So essentially, virtually all the resources that the USU provides normally are offering their services virtually. Everything from the Pride Center to the Veterans Resources to the Dream Center to the Oasis. So pretty much everything's being offered to some extent virtually. Obviously, these are some difficult times, and we're only we're only capable of providing so much virtually. I would like to make you all aware of this opportunity to learn more about the USU. It is called the Manifest 2020, and it will be taking place Thursday, September the 3rd. And this is just an opportunity. It's pretty much like a scavenger hunt virtually, which kind of cool. So it's just pretty much an opportunity to learn about the various resources, like in a fun manner, that the USU is offering through again virtual. So the scavenger hunt is like it's through the via Goose Chase. The event link will be available from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., allowing the students to participate whenever they are available. Students who do participate are eligible for a raffle and a chance to win Matador bookstore gift cards. I mean, and who doesn't like gift cards? So that can be used for your books or, I mean, some CSUN gear. So, and the top 10 students will also, with the most points, will also receive various prizes. So that's a plus. The highlighted departments in the scavenger hunt are going to be the board of directors, the Pride Center, the Veterans Resource Center, the Dream Center, the Diversity and Inclusion, the SRC, the Oasis, the Reservation and Event Services, and as well as the game room. And again, that will be Thursday, September the 3rd. I do want to point out, because this for me has been critical, that the computer lab is hosting services online, and for me this was key. And I know a lot of you are at home, and if you ever experience any technical difficulties, or like I always do, this is such a great service that you can contact them and they can offer you services virtually. They can from the comfort of your own home, and they can just go into your computer and help you out with whatever difficulties you're having. So again, that's a very, very crucial resource. And like I mentioned, everything else is offering their services. Everyone will be, all the resources, they are staffed, so there is a number that you'll be able to reach them. Most of them are starting at 10 a.m. And with the exception of the computer labs open until 10 p.m. and the rest of them seem to be open until about 2 p.m. So you can always reach out that way, and someone will be there to try to assist all of you. So is there anything else, Deborah?
I think that's good. Let me just add a couple of things. Since we operate the Dream Center for undocumented students, there's a number of programs that are coming up, including Pathway to Citizenship presentations. And then CSUN is our legal clinic that we work with that also helps to do, give you legal advice and naturalization event. The SRC, which is the Student Recreation Center that Albert just talked about, has all kinds of virtual classes, including yoga, including Zumba, including workout of the day, including boxing. Everything that you would normally think that we could have, we are offering virtually. So it's a great opportunity to do it in the privacy of your own space, and actually get fit in the process. The Pride Center has a number of programs, including How To Mondays, where it's an Instagram live takeover, as well as some Zoom events where we have some support groups for tea time for our transgender students, and then Lavender Takeover. We have a number of other events. Albert just talked about Manifest. We have Student Showcase coming up. We have a program called Adulting 101. The Veterans Resource Center is offering programs called Joining Forces and a Women's to Women's group and an open house. And our diversity and inclusion programs, we are having welcomes for various cultural groups. So on the 9th or the 8th of September, it's the Latina, Latino, Latinx welcome. On the 9th, we will have the Asian American Pacific Islander welcome. On the 10th, we will have American Indian welcome. And on that same day, in that evening, we will have Welcome Black. So we have a variety of programs, including We Are CSUN campaign and essential talks that really are talks about topics of the day. It's pretty prevalent right now. There's a lot of talk about racism, inclusion, social justice, and those kinds of things. Those would be some of the things that we would offer. There's lots of ways to reach us. We all have websites, we all have social media, and we will be able to send that information to you after the program so that you can keep connected with us. So thank you very much, and we appreciate you.
All right, well, thank you so much to the University Student Union and all the presenters. We'll now move on to the question and answer portion of this conversation. And we want to remind you that you can provide questions in a Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, or you can raise your hand and wait for your turn to get called. We'll also try our best to get through all the questions.
As organizations that value student input, meaningful and constructive dialogue, we encourage you to utilize the next hour to ask thoughtful and engaging questions. We will begin by taking and asking the panelists 3 questions that you provided during the RSVP.
So the first question we have is, what's the best way to get involved with clubs and organizations? And I'll go ahead and direct this question to Vicki Allen.
Well, I started off by talking about the event Meet the Clubs, and I said that there's 160 groups that are currently registered, but we have over 292 groups that are out there. So I think some of the best ways to get connected would definitely be to come to Meet the Clubs and explore those organizations, and when they have their individual Zoom meetings, to go ahead and drop in on those meetings and ask questions. Another way to do that is many of our student organizations utilize Instagram, which seems to be the social media choice of this generation. And so I would go out there and start to follow them. They post information about what it is that's coming up. They do takeovers, which you kind of heard the USU talk about some of the programming that it's going to have planned for this semester. And so that's another way to get connected. Going back to Matasync, in that there's a feature that will allow you to email organizations. And so that information will go to student leadership and they'll be able to respond back to you related to that. The other feature in Matasync that I haven't talked about is a thing called events. And so students, when they're hosting their virtual meetings and virtual activities, that will be posted in Matasync so that you'll have information on how to connect to them. You'll have their Zoom links and information. And the best thing about Matasync is it's a closed community. So that means the information is just for Cal State Northridge students. And so it's easier for student organizations to post their Zoom meetings to be able to avoid Zoom bombing and those types of things. So using Matasync, going to Meet the Clubs, but also checking out a lot of the programs that are being hosted by the USU and the Associated Students. We have a lot of times when our student organizations collaborate with these 2 organizations, and those are other ways to get introduced to the types of programs our students like to engage in.
Thank you so much. Would anyone else like to add to that question? All right, we'll go ahead and move on to our second question.
So the next question from those who RSVP'd is, how do I get involved in volunteering for AS? Are there any other volunteering opportunities in the USU and MIC too? If Vicki, Albert, or Deborah would like to answer this question, please go ahead.
Okay, so I guess I'll start off. So there's plenty of opportunities to get involved with, well, me personally, I'm involved with the USU board of directors, and there's plenty of opportunities to get involved from a committee level to the board director level. So there's always openings that are opening up, and you're all welcome. Well, you have to have 2.0 to be able to serve. So essentially, you have to be in CSUN at least one semester. Once you have your established 2.0 or higher, you're able to serve. So there is an application process, and I would encourage all of you to do so, as the opportunities to grow are amazing. So I would recommend all of you to participate and get involved. And as far as the USU, I believe that, I mean, it's just the committees and the board of directors, and I'm not too familiar with AS, so if you can, Dion, please.
Yeah, I'm very familiar. Associated Students has a variety of different ways you can get involved. We have our Clubs and Organizations Committee, which would basically work with the MIC and our Chair of Clubs and Orgs and our Assistant Chair of Clubs and Orgs, and really being a bridge to knowing what's going on with our clubs and organizations and helping them learn a little bit about funding for clubs and orgs and all the cool events that everyone's doing on campus. Then we've got our Judicial Court, which oversees basically the AS Constitution and makes sure that our clubs and our organizations are really following what's in their constitutions. We have Lobby Corp, which is kind of hard to explain, but basically our Lobby Corp, they are responsible for advocating for student need off campus and working with our Chair of Legislative Affairs, Sahara Damon, and really carrying out a lot of the duties within her job, and she oversees that, so that's really cool. We have open positions that you can apply to at csunas.org/open positions. And then last but not least, we have our Elections Committee. Our Elections Committee is responsible for overseeing all of our CSUN AS election, and they also work closely with the University Student Union to oversee the election of the Board of Directors. So there's a lot of opportunities to get involved with AS. Just visit csunas.org/open positions.
So I guess I should have added which committees we have. Excuse me for that. So we have the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, we have the Finance Committee, the Audit Committee, Retirement Committee, Personnel Committee, and the Facilities and, oh my God.
Commercial services.
Commercial services, there you go. Thank you so much. So there are several committees to participate. So plenty of room for people to apply. Thank you.
And I would go ahead and add a couple additional things. So we have a lot of programs across campus. Our peer education programs like JADE, Men's Care, Project Date, Blues Project. We have our university ambassadors. We have our new student orientation leaders. We have our CSUN mentorship program. These are opportunities for students to volunteer and serve the campus in a variety of different ways. And traditionally, the application process for those programs will begin to open up in November. And so this will be information that you'll definitely be able to find in Matador. You'll also be able to find this on the respective program pages for the programs that are peer education that come out of our university counseling services. Information about applications will be available there. And so I think one of the things that you can do as a student to stay engaged is to continually come back to these various resources and see when the opportunities make themselves available. And I want to also just go back to Meet the Clubs. Meet the Clubs is virtual. And so right now, if you go into Matador, you'll be able to see all the different videos that are there. And so although we're meeting right now, it is available for you 24 hours a day. And so you can go on and take a look at the videos. And then next week, the student organizations have multiple times that they'll be available hosting opportunities for you to talk with them between September 1st and September 4th.
Thank you so much, Albert, Dion, and Vicky.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to our next question. How will clubs and organizations involvement be different in the fall? And will they all be virtual experiences? Would anyone like to start us off?
Yeah, sure. So yes, this fall is virtual, as CSUN is virtual. And so let me go back and say that our students have come up with incredible ways for you to be connected. And so it's not just going to be sitting necessarily in a Zoom and talking. They're going to be bringing in speakers. They're going to have networking events. They're going to be collaborating with alumni. They're going to be doing films where you're doing those live watches together and discussions. They're playing lots of games, virtual games and whatnot to keep connected. And so many of the social things that they would have incorporated into their programs are ways in which they're creating those connections, but they're also making sure that the purpose in terms of why they exist is still a fundamental part of what you'll be experiencing as you join them virtually. And so I think as you start to explore their videos, you'll see them talking about that in how they describe what the virtual experience will be like for them over the course of fall 2020.
Thank you for that. Would anyone else like to add to that question?
Yeah, I actually would. So just to answer, well, to provide a little insight, if you ever have any questions about clubs and organizations, you can feel free to reach out to Nakia McWilliams. Her email is nakia.mcwilliams@csun.edu. And you can also reach out to our AS Chair of Clubs and Organizations at chairofclubsandorgs@csun.edu. Oh, at csunas.org. Sorry.
Thank you for that. Anyone else? All right.
Yeah, likewise, if you guys have any questions, the USU is, the chair and I are here to answer any questions you have. You could email me at USU board, board of directors, vice chair, at at csun.edu, or my chair Melanie and I, which she is oh my God, I'm blanking. Sorry about this. I'm a little nervous. So it's a USU board chair at csun.edu. Sorry about that, guys.
Thank you. We will go ahead and begin now with either questions from the audience. If you have a question, you can go ahead and raise your hand. We will click on you and unmute you, or you can go ahead and use the Q&A chat function. We will also be answering questions from there. If I can go ahead and have Leon Picor unmuted, please.
Unmute. Okay. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
All right. I have a question about, like, I want to add marketing to my real estate business degree as a double major. Can that be done? I heard that I have to wait like 5 weeks though from like now or something, like in 4 or 5 weeks, that maybe in the future.
Thank you. Which panelists would like to answer this question?
I'll go ahead and jump in here.
Okay.
Leon, I appreciate you being here today, and I understand our students are going to have a lot of different questions regarding a lot of aspects of their university experience. We were really focusing in here on student life and engagement, but I do want to direct you to a resource online. It's the CSUN as One website, and you'll see a tab there called Academic Support. You can get to it through the app. If you just Google CSUN as One, if you go to the web page, our main page, you'll see CSUN as One, a little icon there, and it'll help direct you to the appropriate, within your college or other offices to answer some of the questions that you have specifically related to your major.
Okay, that makes sense. So CSUN as One and related to business major. I have like real estate, and I was wondering if it's practical to add marketing or something as a double major or minor.
You really want to have a conversation with your college advisors, and so to find the appropriate office to connect to, you can go to the academic support tab of that page, and I believe that link has just been shared there.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Leon, thank you, Dr. Relas Bishop. We'll go ahead and pass it off to Rose. That will read now a question from the Q&A function.
All right, thank you, Mel. So the first question we have from the Q&A portion is, hello, everyone. USU offers a lot of virtual events. Do we have to pay for it, or is it all free? I'll go ahead and have Deborah answer this question if she would like.
Okay, almost everything that the USU offers is free. You actually pay for that as part of the fees that you pay prior to attending school. So we try to provide as many resources as possible for free. And that would include any of the classes, any of the SRC, anything in the OASIS. And since it's virtual, it's really mostly everything, it has to be free. So it's an easier way for you all to connect with those programs.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Would anyone else like to add to that question? All right. Yes, Patrick.
Hi there. I would like to add that there are a lot of virtual programs that you can find from the website of AS as well, and virtual programs. I would also suggest you go to the CSUN website, and if you click on the Student Life and Support page, you'll find a list of activities and programs there as well, all free.
Thank you so much for that, Patrick. Would anyone else like to add to that question? If not, we can go ahead and move on to a live question if there's any.
So once again, if you would like to ask a live question, go ahead and raise your hand and we will go ahead and unmute you. If no one would like to ask a live question, we can go ahead and ask another one from the Q&A function. Someone asked, since most staff is working remotely and offices don't have people answering, what do students do?
I could offer that Associated Students has a virtual office. It's staffed every day, Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. If you click on the link, there's a live person there that can help you. We can help you with anything that you may have ever come into our office to ask about, or if we don't have the answer, we're gonna get the answer for you. So if you go to our AS webpage, click on that virtual office, there's a staff of students and staff that are there just waiting to see your happy face.
Thank you, Patrick. Would anyone else like to add?
Yeah, sure. Also, feel free to email us at president@csunas.org or vicepresident@csunas.org, because even though we might not be able to sit virtually in the virtual office, we respond to our emails all day long and we're able to get people connected with different people within the university. So just email us.
Thank you, Dion. Anyone else?
Yeah,
Yes.
Go ahead, Deb.
Okay, for the USU, we also have our guest services and information services, also staffed from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. There's a live person to answer the phone, and that number is 818-677-2251. And they have general information about the USU, but also general information about the campus as a whole.
Thank you, Deborah. Anyone else?
Yeah, and what I was going to add is that right now, if you do call the Matador Involvement Center, you are going to get a general message. But if you call any of the direct extensions, the staff are checking their voicemails and they are able to get back in touch with you. We are in the process of trying to do similar to what our colleagues in the AS and USU are doing by having some afternoon hours that you can come and drop in on a Zoom to ask some more direct questions. And we'll be putting that on our website shortly.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and pass it back to Rose.
All right, thank you. So the next question we have is, could you explain a little bit more about how sororities are going to work? So I'll go ahead and direct this question to Vicki Allen if you would like to answer.
Sure. So like I've talked about other organizations in terms of it being virtual, our fraternities and sororities will be virtual as well. There will be recruitment, and so recruitment will be different depending upon the type of sorority you are. So we have what we call the Panhellenic Council. There are 6 organizations that represent that community, and within the 6 sororities, they do what's called a mutual bidding system, and so it's a joint recruitment process. And you'll get some more specific details by going ahead and registering for recruitment, taking our pre-recruitment educational program prep, and then coming to the mandatory orientation. And there we can break down more details about that specific recruitment program. And then within our other organizations, they will be having online events, an opportunity for you to get to know them and for them to get to know you. And as they conclude those events, they will look to offer opportunities for you to join, and you as an individual can choose if you would like to accept an invitation for membership or if you would decline an invitation for membership. And then concluding that, there is traditionally an educational program that is as short as a week and as long as about 10 weeks of time that you will be doing virtually to learn more about the organization before you're formally initiated into the organization virtually as well.
Thank you so much. Would anyone else like to add to that question? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and pass it back to Mel.
Thank you. The next question is the university making an effort to provide us with any alternatives to printing, aka letting us borrow printers or making them available in some sort of public space where we can socially distance? Would anyone like to answer that question?
I think that's my question. That is something that we are currently working on. We have to, in order to provide any kind of services on the campus at all, we need approval from the local health authorities, and we have put together a proposal related to at least printing services, and we are waiting word on that. So if that changes, we would be able to let you know about that at that point. But we hear you, and we're trying to work on that.
Thank you, Deborah. Would anyone else like to add? Okay, we'll go ahead and pass it back to Rose.
All right, so again, I'd like to remind you all, if you would like to ask a live question, just go ahead and click the raise hand feature. If not, we're going to continue reading off the Q&A portion. So the next question we have is, student life and engagement students are confused because we never really had an orientation. Why is the budget for fall 2020 barely being discussed and we already started fall semester? Would anyone like to start us off with this question? And I can go ahead and repeat it as well.
Yeah, could you repeat it, please?
Of course. Student life and engagement students are confused because we never really had an orientation. Why is the budget for fall 2020 barely being discussed and we already started fall semester?
Well, we could talk a little bit about the USU's budget. I just can kind of give you a background on our budget. We have cut our budget significantly because of COVID situation by over $2 million. And we've made substantial changes in the budget, including no travel, no raises, those kinds of things. We are trying to, of course, to keep all of our employees, full-time staff, as well as a number of our students also employed who are working, but virtually. So our expectation, in addition to that, we still need to maintain our facilities. Even though they're closed, you still have to make sure they're properly maintained, and you have to pay utilities as well. In addition to that, one of the biggest ticket items for us is our bond payment, which is like a mortgage payment, which is about $5 million a year. So all of those things are continuing, and we are still continuing to provide programs and services and opportunities in this virtual environment. So we are very concerned about the budget. It's always at the forefront of our attention. Our finance committee, as well as our board of directors, pays a lot of attention to that, and we discuss it basically every month. And if there's any other specific questions that you have about it, and if you want to have an actual copy of our budget, that's public information. You're certainly welcome to it. And if you email me, I can send that information to you, and certainly be prepared to sit down and talk to you about it in more detail. And my email address is Deborah, DEBRA, Hammond, HAMMOND, @CSUN.edu. That's Deborah.Hammond@CSUN.edu.
All right, thank you. I see Patrick, your hand is up.
And I can follow up with Deborah as well, because I think the associated students are equally as concerned about our budget and have made some changes as well. For the fall, we have a $1.2 million cut that we've made in our budget in order to make our budget balance. We will still be providing our virtual programs, the signature programs that we do, like Big Show, Big Lecture, We the People. We'll be able to offer those just in a different format. We have also followed the CSU and our hiring chill. We have stopped our travel. A priority to everyone was to make sure that the student organizations still receive their full allocations. So when the cuts were made from the associated students' budget, they really were made from internal operations and nothing to harm or to do anything to take away support for student organizations, which was really important to us. And like Deborah said, I'm more than happy to share anything. My email is just like my name here, Patrick Bailey, patrick.bailey@csun.edu, and we can share anything that you would like to see as well. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Would anyone else like to add to that question? If not, we can go ahead and move on to the next question.
The next question is, we used to go to office hours for financial advisors, office hours, etc. How do we reach financial aid? Would anyone like to answer this question?
This is Vice President Watkins. Let me just try to respond there. And for all of the students who are participating today, let me just share with you that we're quite aware of the fact that there has been a tremendous amount of traffic trying to reach financial aid advisors. Financial aid, like all of the other services, is functioning remotely. People are working off campus. One of the things that we experienced is, as you might remember from from previous semesters, a lot of students went to Boramian Hall to get their questions answered about financial aid concerns. All of that traffic now is on the phones and through email, so it's increased by thousands the number of individual kinds of questions that have to be answered vis-a-vis the phones and et cetera. We're engaged in some processes to try to increase staffing and permit employees to work longer hours so that we can catch up with some of the questions that are out there, but we do certainly apologize, but we're not able to be as responsive as we're accustomed to being. We are pleased that all of the students who filed their FAFSA and got their documentation completed by our priority deadline, that we're able to award aid in a timely manner to all of those students. But we do recognize that there's a lot of traffic. There's a message about that online at the financial aid website to give some guidance as to options that you might think about at the present time. If you are just now filing an application for financial aid, that's a pretty long process. It'll be probably some 7 weeks if you're just now completing your paperwork before the financial aid department is in a position to be able to award aid to you. But we are trying to bring additional staffing, trying to find ways in which to respond to students. I would say that it is not advisable to continue to call repeatedly, because every time you do that with the same question, it's increasing the number of calls that we have to make our way through in the volume. So, the best thing to do is to call or send an email. That will place you in a queue, and your call or email will be eventually responded to.
Thank you, Dr. Watkins. Would anyone else like to add to that question? We'll go ahead and hand it back to Rose.
All right, thank you. So the next question is, will funding be available for clubs and organizations? And whoever would like to start off, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So right now, we have $154,000 plus in our unassigned contingency account for our clubs and orgs to apply to. If you go to csunas.org and click on funding, you can apply for some of that money, and our chair of finance, along with our Senate and Finance Committee, will review those applications and be sure to get you some money. And the USU offers some pretty cool opportunities as well, I believe.
There's also the STAR account for students that are doing academic research or projects. So there's a $200,000 pool that AS has as well, the same type as Vice President Turner said. Go to the funding site, click there, and you'll do a supplemental funding request. Clubs and organizations can do that, but so can individuals for the STAR account. Yeah.
Also, feel free to attend our Finance 101 workshop. The date and the time is listed on csunas.org.
Next Friday, 3 o'clock.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to add?
I can add a little bit for the University Student Union. We do have co-sponsorship funds available. And I'm going to ask Freddie if he could put the link in the chat. So if you have a club or an organization that is doing a program and you need some additional funding, and one of the good things about the USU's co-sponsorship fund, it funds some of the things that AS does not fund. So it's a way to supplement that funding. So if that's something that you would be interested in, or your club or an organization, we'll put that address in the chat box.
And I would, just to add, AS this year is funding student organizations $1.3 million. And that's funding directly to student organizations, not to a university program or a department, but directly to student organizations.
That's great. Thank you. Would anyone else like to add? All right. I think, Mel, you have the next question.
The next question is, since we are in the middle of a pandemic, what will be the biggest changes that we will see as a student body from an AS perspective? Besides virtual events, I imagine that it will be harder for your team to keep students engaged in a virtual environment. How will your team tackle this challenge? Anyone who would like to go can go ahead and start.
I'll answer that question. Yes, it is hard, but you know, there's not anything that AS and the USU and all of our team here can't handle. I believe that we have a full staff and a full cabinet of people working very hard to really shift all of our programs virtually. We are very, very, very big on emails, so we're always checking our emails. There's going to be several opportunities for you to meet with President Morita and I. We'll be visiting U100 classes. We'll be inviting you all to dine with us virtually somehow, some way. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity for us to hear directly from you as to what your experience looks like this fall. So yeah, we're just shifting virtually as the world is.
Thank you, Dion. Would anyone else like to add?
I would like to add for the University Student Union, we've been in this virtual environment since March. So we've learned a couple of things, how to deliver programs, what time you want the programs. We've asked you when you've told us, I'd love to do this program, but I'm zoomed out now. So we have been trying to be as proactive and responsive as possible by changing the opportunities and the times offered and the kinds of programs. I think we've also learned some things about the length of the program and trying to make them a little bit shorter and more succinct so that you can stay engaged in the opportunities. I think some of the things that have worked really well for us is some of the Instagram takeovers and Facebook Live presentations, because students really seem to be very excited and engaged in those opportunities. So we will keep monitoring that, but if you have any other suggestions for us, we are open and willing to hear those and try to implement those as well.
Thank you, Deborah. Would anyone else like to add?
I just want to come in and especially underscore that last point that Deborah just made. You know, this is a challenge that we're all taking on, trying to meet. Zoom fatigue is real, and yet at the same breath, we're going to encourage you to keep your camera on and jump on the Zoom because we want you to stay engaged. And we're thinking of a lot of different ways in which to communicate that. You know, social media, event calendars, websites, and so we'll continue to challenge ourselves to be innovative in that regard. I think in terms of what, you know, we're all really thinking about a lot of the time is how are we going to hear back from our students as to what's working and what's not working, and what other ideas might they have for us to consider. And so you're going to hear a lot of us encourage you to contact us, keep on reaching out to us, email, phone calls, so that we can keep those lines of communications open. We'll be thinking through open forums, other town halls with live question opportunities like this, so that we can be sure to stay connected with you as much as we can.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll go ahead and hand it back to Rose.
All right, thank you everyone. So the next question is, I am new to CSUN and I paid the full price of $213 for the parking permit. I just found out that they waived the parking fees or the last 2 semesters. Is there any way they could extend the waiver for this semester as well?
Vice President Watkins here. I think I tried to respond to that in the Q&A, but everybody I think has some question about where we're headed on parking fees. As you know by experience, we started out this fall reinstituting the parking fee structure that had existed before we adjusted fees last spring. Quite frankly, the cabinet is presently reconsidering where we are right now in terms of parking fees for this fall. My hope is that we might have some announcement about that in the coming week. To the extent that we adjust fees after an individual has already paid a fee, what we would typically do there is to issue a refund or find some way to make an adjustment. So we certainly have heard from not just students, but also our faculty and staff raising questions about the continuation of our standard parking fees. And we hopefully will have some announcement about that soon.
Thank you so much for sharing. Would anyone else like to add? I think Dr. Watkins covered it fairly well. All right, Mel, you want to go ahead and ask another question?
The next question is, will University Counseling Services and the Klotz Health Center still be providing services to our students? Anyone who would like to start can go ahead.
Yeah, Vice President Watkins again. The University Counseling Center has continued to provide counseling services remotely. And quite frankly, we have found that our students have really enjoyed that method of service delivery. Providing telepsychology, teletherapy has not really been a practice in higher education until COVID. And so this is an example of where we have learned a different practice out of necessity. It appears to be working well. We had a high level of counseling services provided during the summer. We hardly ever do that. We had groups during the summer, almost unheard of students joining groups, but we did that through the summer and now into the fall. So I really would encourage you to go to the Counseling Center website, which you can get to through the CSUN as one student life and support link as well. But you'll find a whole host of services that are being provided there. Our Klotz Student Health Center has remained open. It's one of the 2 departments in student affairs that has remained, that never closed. The other one was student housing. But the Klotz Student Health Center is open for services now, and we would encourage you to make appointments online. You can order medicines, have your prescriptions filled online, and have pickup service there at the Student Health Center. So a number of ways to try to support our students without them necessarily having to come to that location, but the center is in fact open.
Thank you, Dr. Watkins. Anyone else? We'll go ahead and pass it back to Rose.
All right, you can still hear me, right? I'm having a little bit internet issues. Okay, great. The next question we have is, when will we resume on-campus instruction? Who would like to answer this?
We don't know that today, but recent information suggests that we will know much sooner than later. I mean, we're certainly not wanting to get deep into the fall semester before we're able to tell our students, faculty, and staff what they can anticipate. You know, my hope is that we might be able to learn more definitively where the CSU system, and it won't be a campus by campus thing. This will again be a system-wide decision that it will be sometime, certainly not later than October.
Thank you. Mel, next question.
The next question is, do you have to pay for fraternity and sorority orientation?
Well, again, I'll start with stating that within our Greek community, we have 52 organizations and they're all different. And so if you're going through our Panhellenic recruitment, they do have a registration fee to go through that weekend recruitment program. For other organizations, they do not necessarily have a fee to go through recruitment, but many of them have national dues and chapter dues. Many of the organizations are making adjustments to those, but similar to what you heard from the USU, there are some stipulations for some groups that still have to maintain their national insurance. And so these are fees that nationals cannot rid themselves of, as they have those expenses that they need to cover. But we'll be going into detail, kind of talking about the structure of not only fees to go through recruitment, but also fees related to the different organizations, so that you can go into the process as informed as possible, which is why this year you have to register for recruitment, take prep, but then also attend that orientation that will give you those additional details.
Thank you, Vicki. I think you covered everything. We'll go ahead and go to the next question.
All right, so the next question I have is, can first-time freshmen get involved with campus committees? So go for it, Dion.
Yeah, you are able to, all students are able to get involved with campus committees. The way that it works is you email, well, it depends. If you want to be a part of an AS committee, you sign up through csunas.org/open committees. Oftentimes the university will send the AS president an email asking for a student representative on a variety of different committees. There's lots of them. You would just email president@csunas.org and express interest. She may be able, if she has time, she's busy, but she may be able to set up a time to talk to you, engage your interest, and see which committee you fit best for.
And I'll add on, I'm never too busy to talk to students. So please email me if you want to get involved. I love when students get involved. It's definitely shaped my CSUN experience, so please get involved. And I think, Albert, you were going to follow up too with a comment?
Yes, I was just going to add, and correct me if I'm wrong, Deborah, but for the USU, you do need a 2.0, a GPA. So essentially, freshmen or transfer students are not eligible to serve their first semester due to the fact that they don't have a 2.0 at GPA at CSUN. So after their second semester, they're more than welcome to apply.
Thank you for that. Would anyone else like to add on to that question?
Yeah, I would like to add on one other thing. What Albert said was absolutely correct. You need to be here for a semester and have that 2.0, but we definitely encourage you to come check us out. So if you want to have an experience of what it's like to participate in a committee, just email us and then we will connect you with the committee chair. They'll let you know when their meeting is, and then at least you can get a feel for what the committee membership or what the responsibilities of those committees are, because many of those committees, the responsibilities are very much related to things that'll help you in your career path, whether it's personnel and the development of personnel policies, whether it's finance, whether it's facilities and deciding what kind of operations the union would have, whether it's the retirement committee. So everything that you can possibly think of, we probably have some kind of committee related to it, including diversity and inclusion. So just let us know, and then we will be able to shape an experience at least so you can get exposure to it.
I would also add and encourage any student with us to attend a USU board meeting or an Associated Students Senate meeting. The USU board meets monthly. Those are posted online. AS weekly, those are also posted, the meeting times, the virtual link. I won't say meeting room location, but eventually we will be there. But you know, every committee gives reports to the board or the Senate as a whole, so that's another way to get familiar with just the kind of work and discussion being done, and get to know your student leadership and student government a little bit more.
Thank you for that. Would anyone else like to add on? All right. I think, Melanie, you have the next question, right?
Yeah. We'll go ahead and continue to ask the questions from those who RSVP'd. The next question is, how can we best communicate in the fall? How will students be able to engage with other students, departments, and offices? Whoever is ready can go ahead and start.
Can you repeat that one more time? Because I think a part of it was about how do they connect, correct?
Yeah. How can we best communicate in the fall? How will students be able to engage with other students, departments, and offices?
Yeah, I certainly want to thank the team in Student Affairs that helped make ready the Student Life and Support section of CSUN as one. It really, I think, is going to be the richest and most robust way for students to find out how to connect on campus. And the other way that we're doing it is by this wonderful session here this afternoon. I know that AS and USU will be unrelenting in sharing with students repeatedly in innumerable ways throughout the semester, ways in which they can connect. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Watkins. Would anyone else like to add?
I think what I would also add is making connections in your classes will also be important. And so you have this resource of Canvas, and you have many opportunities to participate in discussions and to be able to email individuals. And I think creating those relationships and those kind of small cohorted experiences within your major and within courses will just be equally as important to what you're doing in your co-curricular experience of creating community. So taking that initiative and participating in your courses and using those discussion groups and making those connections in class, equally making them outside of the classroom, will help you start to get that sense of belonging and community that you're seeking.
If I could add, my understanding is that in all the classes now, there's going to be an add-on called Pronto that will allow you almost like a group meet to talk to other people in the class. So I think that's a new addition to fall. And we've been looking for platforms. So if you know platforms that you like, let us know. Because some of the challenges that we're having is when we find a platform that allows us interaction, it may not be accessible, so we can't use it. So the one that I love, and I'll say this, and I'm not a techie person, is called Remo. And it allows you to build that virtual community. You can have floors and offices, and you can go there at any time. And if I want to see Deborah Hammond, I'll say, Deborah, I'm on floor 3, table 2. And then I could automatically see her. So we've been testing programs like that to just allow for that interaction and community, because it's very important for you and it's also important for us, but we really want to make sure we develop that for you. So if you know other platforms that give you that kind of interaction, let us know them so we can research them and see if we can get them.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to add?
I just want to add a couple of things. That was a great idea, Patrick. But one of the other pieces is, and I think Dr. Watkins referred to it earlier, is our Student Life and Support webpage. There's a section on there about communities, so and cultural centers. So if you are a member of the LGBTQ community, you can connect with the Pride Center. If you're a veteran or a reservist or a dependent, you can connect to the Veterans Resource Center. If you're undocumented or a mixed status family, you can connect to the Dream Center. So there is a variety of communities across campus in related to the ethnic studies departments, to related to other departments, and we have all of their information on that website. So that's a great resource and a way to connect with other people that share your cultural background or share some of your interests. So we want to make sure that we get that word out as well.
I believe Freddie did share the link to that in the chat, the specific student life and support page of the overall CSUN as one website that we've been talking about. We've been talking about it a lot because we've been working hard as a campus over the summer to really try to centralize our resources as much as possible in one location that you as students can get the information you need to. Thank you for the share screen. This page in particular has been developed so that if you're a new student, you can go down and click a tab that has resources specific to new students here on campus. Going down a little bit further, you can see several areas of information that have been gathered for you. A lot of this covers the information that you've heard today, but it also goes into other areas, health and wellness, counseling support, health center resources, financial matter. Each of these accordion files, if you will, drops down and you'll have a lot more information that you can click to get what you need. So explore that. We've included down a bit further, Freddie, if you could please go, a calendar that will be populated with events that you can attend and get involved with. This is something that will be continually refreshed. So, and you can also click to the larger calendar, which looks out into the future to see what opportunities you might want to schedule ahead for yourself. And I believe you just click the link there. There you go. So all departments provide information, all within student affairs, others on campus as well, provide information that feeds to this calendar. And it is, again, centralized on that student life and support page on the CSUN as one website. I will ask Freddie if you could go back. You know, we may not have thought of everything. We probably didn't, and that's okay. This is a evolving website. So there's one bar down at the bottom that says, don't see what you're looking for. And if there's something that you still need because you didn't see what you were looking for, you can click that and let us know what it is that you're in need of, what your question is, and we'll do our best to get you to the right people who can answer it if we can. So, so really, really important resource for you to be aware of, one of many. I believe there was also some Instagram links shared in the chat earlier, so that you can get connected and via social media, get similar updates as well. Does anyone want to add anything else to that piece? Got it.
All right. I guess we can move on to the next question. So the next question is, what is the campus doing to create civic engagement opportunities for students for elections? Yes, go for it, Patrick.
There's a resource called, there's a committee on campus called We the People. It consists of students, faculty, staff, and they have really come together to put together a whole list of activities and programs for the campus community. It's called CSUN Act Now, and we can put that information in the chat, and you'll see a whole list of activities and programs that are really kind of meant to get people understanding the civic process, teaching people if they need to know how to read a ballot, how to read that. Some are actually in the classroom, some are outside of the classroom, but it's a great list of programs. If you want to be involved in that program, there's also a way that you can be on the committee. You don't have to have a GPA, you can do it in your first semester. You can click in and say on the We the People page, and you can actually be a part of that committee. So I encourage you to take a look at that. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful program, series of programs from across the campus.
Thank you so much. Would anyone else like to add to that?
One other thing, I would encourage you, if you haven't done it, sorry, to complete your census. That is also going to be talked about, but we really need everyone to do your census. We want you to vote, that's really important, but we also want you to do your census. The census is what really determines the resources that we're going to get for the next 10 years. So we want everyone to be counted. Please, please, please complete your census if you haven't. We have a link for that too, I think.
Would anyone else like to add? Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and ask if all panelists can share the most exciting program or service they are excited to deliver or attend this semester. Whoever can start can go ahead.
I'll start. I am really excited. Well, first of all, I'll say that I loved the programs that happened this week. I think that Sportsapalooza and meeting all the student sport clubs was amazing. But I'm really looking forward to We the People, that fair. And there's going to be a speaker called Big Lecture. And I think that Big Lecture is going to be one of those events that being able to see it in this format is going to allow more students to come. I think it's going to be very engaging. There'll be a great Q&A. And I wish I could tell you who the person was, but we're still signing the contract. So until we finish the signed contract, I can't tell you how amazing and fabulous it is, but that's why I'm so excited, and you will be too. So that's mine.
I think I'm just excited about all the ways our student organizations will be engaged, and I'll be able to pop into so many programs that traditionally during the year when we're on campus, I can't have the opportunity to see. But the event that I'm looking forward to also for those of you who are new students is New Student Convocation. That is going to be occurring on September 17th. And that you'll get information emailed to you about that. But that's a wonderful opportunity for our new students to be formally welcomed into the university community and family. And if you happen to be a continuing student and did not go to your New Student Convocation, or maybe you're a student when New Student Convocation was happening and or was not happening. I would be surprised if that were the case with how long we've been hosting those programs. But I would encourage you to come, because it's a great way just to say welcome to a new year and to come together as a CSUN family and community and set you off on a good course. So September the 17th, that's a Thursday evening from 6 to 7. So join us for New Student Convocation.
I agree with Vicki. That's my favorite event over the next several weeks.
And I love that you encourage students who maybe missed it the first time, Vicki, to come on in. Great idea and suggestion.
Would any other panelists like to share their most exciting program or service they are excited to deliver or attend?
I'm really excited to attend our Criminal Justice Understanding a Broken System and Fixing a Broken System event that Senator Michael Meeks is putting on. I'm really excited to see, the turnout of that. So that's where I'll be.
September 10th and 11th.
And I'm excited about We Are CSUN campaign. It's an opportunity for you to connect with other students who are doing amazing things on the campus and in the community. And they all have pretty amazing stories to tell about their lives and why they advocate or why they're involved or what's important to them. And you will see yourself represented in them. And it's a great way to broaden your own personal community at CSUN. So I'm looking forward to that program.
Albert, would you like to add?
Yes. Well, the thing that I'm looking forward to now is just like this Manifest. Like I'm really looking forward to it. It sounds really fun, and I guess I should share that I started my graduate program and I've been reading so much. I need a break. I need something fun to kind of unwind. So I'm actually really looking forward to this. It sounds really fun. So I just need a little fun in my life, and being quarantined, I mean, you're limited. So it actually seems really, really cool, and I'm actually looking forward to it.
Thank you. If no one else would like to add, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Rose.
I'm just going to squeeze in real quick. I love that we have officially started the fall semester, and it's going to sound crazy, but we're going to have board and committee meetings with our students, which means I'm going to get to interact and talk that length with our students. I really missed that over the summer. And we've had some work groups, and they've been fabulous, and I have, had those moments, but they come a whole lot more this time of the year when we actually go into full swing. So yes, I did say I'm excited about a committee meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Seeing that we don't have any questions so far regarding the Q&A and live, I'll go ahead and ask the panelists if you can give us one piece of advice for students for this academic year.
My one piece of advice would be to definitely have a plan and to have a schedule in terms of when you're going to be doing your work. I think it's very easy in this kind of environment to not have that kind of consistent scheduling and the opportunity to get behind and have that additional stress will come up with you in a blink of an eye. The summer went incredibly fast, faster than it has in any other year. And I still can't believe it. This is now the 5th day. We've gone through 1 week of classes. And that's what's going to happen to you as a student. And so get your planner, get your plan, figure out what's going to work best for you, and then write it down and stick to it so that you can find yourself being able to balance out your term in a much better way. So that would be one piece of advice that I'm giving you, but I'm also giving me because I re-registered for class. I'm in class as well, starting next Friday. So.
All right.
Congratulations, Vicki. Thank you for that.
I would say just perspective, and I know that's really hard at this time because it's always hard to be positive when you feel like you're missing something. You're missing that the first week of school when you're waiting 2 hours to find a parking space. You hate that, but you're missing. And so what I like to say is all about perspective. So, for me, instead of missing it, I have to look at, like I heard someone else tell me this summer, we're making history. So I want to make history, and I want to make it with you. And I want to make sure that we make good history because I want people to look back at this years from now and say, they had it going on. Because I think there are things that we will do that we will learn that are better that we should focus on, and we can keep that hope alive more so than being like, I really wish I was waiting for my parking space. So with that, I just hope that we can always kind of keep that perspective and try to help each other be a little more positive and a little more kind and just a little more, as someone said yesterday, have a little more grace, which is one of our traits of a Matador. So I think that would be very important.
I would, as I thought about that question, I thought of the word resilience. And I think that this is going to be a challenging semester ahead. This is already a challenging time for so many reasons. All that we're facing in our society, this time of social unrest, the pandemic, we have a lot that we are trying to really understand, process, advocate for, take action on. And so as I think about our students here at CSUN, many of whom are first generation, first in their families to come to college, you are resilient. You may not call it that, you may not have thought about yourself in that way, but the fact that you're here and that you've overcome challenges in order to get to this space, you are resilient. And I want you to own that, recognize that, and draw on that, because we're going to need to be resilient in the weeks and months ahead, right? All of us. And we're going to rely on each other and build each other up when we need to. But we can't forget how resilient we are and how resilient we're going to be as we get through and make this a great year.
I'm listening to Shelley use resilience, and I'm looking up at Rose and remembering her welcome back speech and some of the attributes and things that she tried to encourage her fellow classmates towards. I will encourage all of you to be in touch with you. This is not going to be an easy journey. It's going to be a rewarding one. And you are here because you have a vision, you have intention, you understand the importance of getting this done. But it's okay to sit in your own silence sometimes and check on you. And then permit yourself to reach out to any of us who might be able to support you in those moments where things may be less clear than they are at this very moment when we're in the first week of class, and we've got at least the first week planned out. We talked about planning. But I say this even to our employees here. We've all got to take the time to be in touch with ourselves so that we can stay enriched and fortified and moving forward in a challenging time. And you'll do great at it. I'm convinced of that.
I would just say take care of your mental health. Mental health is so important. Seriously. Remain optimistic. You know, this is not forever. It's just where we are now. Always just think about the positives and the possibility. Don't remain where you're at, but just always look forward and be a forward thinker.
I guess I would just add to that, just self-care. These are some difficult times, and things can get a little difficult just being home and lacking that community sense. So just remember to not to forget those close to you, your friends, and just to keep those friendships still going, whether it's virtually or over phone. It's very important to still feel connected. That's one of the main things that I loved about the USU, is just the feeling of being connected and how important that is. So I would just say, just to focus on that, not to lose that, and just a little bit of self-care during these difficult times.
And the one thing that I would say is keep your eye on the prize. Know why you're here in the first place. You all came here with a specific goal in mind, and that is to get a degree. And you know that that degree is not just about getting a job. It's about opening up possibilities for your life. It's transformative. It will change you. It will change your family. So just always remember that. And in the same instance, as many of the other speakers have also already talked about, know that help is available. That's what we are here for. We are committed to your development and to your growth and to your well-being. And whatever we can do to help support you in that, that's what we're here to do. So all you have to do is reach out. You take one step forward and we're there to meet you. So just remember that. You have our contact information. You have... we're going to kind of be your lifeline. So just let us know what you need, and we're going to try to figure it out with you.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and ask Rose now if she has a message that she would like to send for all students.
Thank you, Mel. I would say I'll go back to the piece of advice. I think it's really, really important to remember, echoing what Deborah just said, remember why you are here in the first place, especially when you're in that mentality of wanting to just stop or quit or pause. Really, really find that within yourself, like, why am I doing this? Why did I start? Because I know me as a student and as a student leader, there's been multiple times where I just wanted, you know what, let me just skedaddle. I'm good. But then I realized that it's okay to ask for support. It's okay to ask for support, whether it be your family, your CSUN family, your mentors, your peers, and to understand that that kind of vulnerability is hard and challenging, but it makes you a better person. And so one piece of advice is to continue asking for support. Remember why you even started coming to CSUN in the first place. And just remember to take this as a character building journey. I like saying that a lot, that I have character building days. So it's okay to have character building days, and just know that everything happens for a reason, and you're not alone. We're all in this together, and that's the beauty of this Zoom universe that we're all in. We're all in this together. And so be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm giving lots of pieces of advice, but it's okay. But definitely, I would just stress the importance of also validating yourself in this process as a student. Mel, what about you? What is your piece of advice?
I would say, I mean, it's all been just to reiterate again the importance of resilience, asking for help. We've all been students before, so we all understand the challenges that come going through the academic year, especially now through these unprecedented times. But like I said at my last board meeting, I would really encourage you all to roll with the punches, start strong, and finish stronger. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what's to come, but we are all definitely strong and here for each other.
I couldn't agree more with the last statement. We're all here for each other. So with that being said, is there any final comments, thoughts from our participants as we close up this program?
Thanks for doing this. Great program.
Thank you. We want to go ahead and thank everyone again who joined us today. Thank you for your questions and concerns as we begin the fall semester. These departments and many more across campus are hard at work to provide the best tools in order for you to prosper and achieve academic success. Your voice and opinion matters.
Yes, and continue off that at any time, if you're feeling overwhelmed, excited, or you just want to share your insight with any of us, then we all encourage you to do so. Just remember that we are here for you. Thank you to the panelists. Thank you to the department members who made this possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We cannot stress that enough. And most importantly, thank you to our students. The screen does have our contact information and our websites. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or any comments. Thank you once again to everyone, and we really hope that you enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And Freddie, if you can just share that contact screen, that'd be great. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
You two are great moderators together. And Rose, how about this? Mel, how do you feel? Very good and natural between you two. I loved it.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, thank you. I love working with Mel. I'm always texting her.
I would concur.
I'm trying to figure out if I can close
the last page of the PowerPoint. Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's 10 attendees yet. Thank you for waiting.
And then Freddie, will we be able to get a copy of the chat? I tried